Hi, everybody. Bill Poulos here from Profits Run, and I'd like to welcome you to my three-part educational training videos where you're going to learn all about my latest Trading Lab discovery and how you can use it to potentially create both short-term income and long-term wealth with a very select group of what I call real asset-based markets, all in 20 minutes or less each night. It is possible when you know how to predict the 5-day trend of a very specific type of market with a high degree of accuracy, as you're about to see. Now, I'm not just talking about the NASDAQ, NYSE, and the Amex in the U.S. My discovery works in other markets as well, like the Australian Securities Exchange, the ASX, the Toronto Stock Exchange, and the London Stock Exchange. As we'll discuss later in this video, currencies around the world are collapsing everywhere. I call it a race to oblivion. So if you're currently a trader, you really need to be aware of this because the way you trade right now could become obsolete and leave you empty-handed if you're not prepared. Why? Because as currencies collapse, inflation will begin to run rampant, even with weak economies, and it'll happen when least expected. Corporations around the world that are not tangible asset-based, which is most of them, by the way, will suffer the damaging effects of double-digit inflation, which of course will have an extremely negative impact on earnings and the stock price. On the other hand, asset-based stocks and ETFs should actually thrive in this environment. Now, foreign exchange or Forex traders in particular need to pay attention. With all the upheaval in Europe, the future of the euro remains in doubt, and no one knows what the fallout will be. The entire Forex market could go into panic mode as the familiar Forex pairs you're used to trading disappear. No more euro-US dollar, no more euro-Japanese yen, and so on. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but it certainly could. Anything can happen in this environment. It's that volatile. So don't stop trading Forex, but you must diversify your trading into non-Forex markets. And the real asset-based markets I'm going to reveal in this presentation are just as volatile as the Forex markets, so there's plenty of trading action available. So what that all means is that your current trading strategies could stop working almost overnight, depending on the markets you're trading right now. That's why it's critical that you have strategies to take advantage of markets based on real assets, like gold, silver, and the energies, if you want to build real wealth in the markets in the coming months and years. But you can't just blindly buy and sell these markets because they're extremely volatile, as I said. And it's that volatility that my real wealth discovery takes advantage of, as you're about to see. And if you're not a trader yet or are confused about what to do with your money, then you're about to see what I believe is one of the best ways to build potential wealth despite the uncertain and unstable financial and economic state the world is in. The information I'm about to reveal is not taught this way in school or college or on the job, and it could mean the difference between a lifetime of struggle and worry or a lifetime of success and happiness. So this is a picture of me in my personal trading lab. This is where I spend most of my time researching, experimenting, and testing dozens of trading ideas all day long. I have a ton of incredible information to share with you, so we're just going to dive in. Now, one thing I can promise you is this. You'll not leave here the same person or with the same view of how wealth is created again, especially in today's markets. So please turn off your cell phone, turn off your chat software, and you know what? Even close down Facebook. And please give this short presentation your undivided attention because things are changing very rapidly in the world, and what I'm going to share with you today will absolutely have an immediate and massive impact on your future. Now, before we dive in, most of you are already familiar with my story, but I'm sure there are a few people watching this presentation who I haven't had a chance to meet or get to know me yet. So I wanted to give you a quick 20-second bio so you'll know a little bit more about me and my background and why I have something important to share with you today. I have degrees in engineering and finance, which are both critical to my 36-year career with one of the big three automotive companies here in Detroit, Michigan. And I also started trading the markets way back in 1974. So for nearly 4 decades, I think I've studied, tried, and tested nearly every approach to making money with stocks, futures, foreign exchange, options, you name it. I estimate I've spent at least 10,000 hours analyzing the markets and studying some of the most successful investors and traders on the planet. Now, it's what I'm passionate about. And after all that study, after countless late nights in my office while my family was asleep, I discovered what I believe are the real secrets to having the potential to creating lasting, ongoing, real wealth in the markets. So in 2001, I started my financial education company, Profits Run, with my eldest son, Greg. Our goal was to help the tens of thousands of regular people around the world get access to the same kind of inside information that the very wealthy use to their advantage in the markets. In other words, we wanted to level the playing field. Now, we must have been onto something because since 2001, over 37,000 people from all around the world have become our students. And now today, we have a busy office with a full-time staff of professional traders and coaches who all work together to help our students potentially succeed in the markets. Personally, I feel like this is the most important work I've ever done in my life, especially with the state of the global economy today. So that's why I'm really excited to have you with us here today on this presentation. Okay, also, I want to be very clear about what my discovery is not. This is not about getting rich quick. This is not about using some mindless robotic software that you can set and forget to make money while you sleep. You won't see any hyped up claims here either. No brokerage statements showing millions of dollars of easy money. No cherry-picked trades. No curve-fit performance graphs. None of that nonsense. Instead, what you will see is the evidence and the results of months of research into a new way of looking at creating short-term income and long-term wealth in the markets that by their very nature are designed to hold value no matter what happens with the economy going forward. I'm going to teach you some of the very best techniques that I've discovered to do this so you can prove it to yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. You'll see real trades, both winners and losers, so you can make your own decision if this makes sense to you. Now, I run my financial education company like I live my life, and that's with 100% honesty and transparency. Now, maybe it's my Midwest upbringing, or maybe it was all those years in the Boy Scouts when I became the youngest Eagle Scout in the Detroit area way back in 1960. Probably a little bit of both, but the point I want to make is that I believe the only way to operate in life and business is with honesty. So that's what you're going to get with me. You might not always like what you see and hear, and I might come across a little blunt from time to time, but I'm going to tell it like it is. And I think you deserve that, and I hope you find that attitude refreshing. Sound good? Okay, well, the secret to my discovery has to do with an unusual trading concept that's been staring everyone in the face, yet very few people understand. But once you understand it and know what to do with it, your potential for ongoing success could skyrocket almost overnight. And I think the reason most people haven't caught on yet is because it's deceptively simple. But in nearly 40 years of trading the markets, I've never seen anything so simple have such a profound effect on trading results. I recorded several Trading Lab videos to expose and teach you this unusual technique, and this is the first one. So get ready to take notes. I think you're really going to enjoy what I have to share with you. But first, let's clear something up really quickly. Buy and hold investing is dead and gone. My students and I knew this years ago, but only recently have the major financial media outlets finally caught up. Now, you probably already know this, but just in case you've been wondering why it's almost impossible anymore to buy a stock or exchange-traded fund and count on it going up, 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 up for your entire lifetime, let's take a quick look at some hard data to prove to you why most people are still throwing their money away in the markets and how you can take advantage of their mistakes. Now, here's a price chart of ETF SPX, which is the S&P 500 ETF, and this chart goes back 10 years. And it's a monthly chart, and you can see that the market has meandered all over the place in the past 10 years, collapsing twice in this past 10-year decade. And if it collapsed twice in the last 10 years, you know it can collapse and probably will again. We don't know for sure, of course. It can happen at any time. Now, what may not be so obvious is how did this performance impact the buy and hold investor? Let's take a look. So the average buy and hold profit potential the past 10 years has been just about zero. Now, look what happened, though, during those 10 years. That market undulated all over the place. Gut-wrenching declines, followed by a terrific bull market from the bottom there in 03 all the way into 07. And then another absolute collapse that we're all well familiar with that happened very rapidly without warning. Remember, no one rings a bell when the market's about to collapse. So if you think, well, that can't happen again, no one's talking about that right now. Well, they weren't talking about it back then either. In fact, what they were talking about is a great time to buy. In early 2008, after the correction down, they're talking about, well, this is a great time to buy. Look what happened. All right, so assuming that the long-term buy and hold investor could have withstood those collapses without selling out, without panicking, without all those sleepless nights, they would have ended up pretty much at zero. All right, now let's look at the SPX now for the past year using a daily chart. Now again, you see the market meandering all over the place, going chopping sideways for a few months, then collapsing abruptly there into August of 11, chopping sideways again, bottoming out in October, and then a really nice run up for about a month, collapse down again, and then a great bull run in the first 3 months of 2012. Only to run into resistance and then another collapse down. And who knows where we go from here. So how does this impact the buy and hold investor near term here in just the last 12 months? Well, if you go back 12 months to the day, the average 12-month buy and hold profit potential is actually minus 3.4%. So if you had the courage to stay in it while the market collapsed there in July of 2011 into August, and you rode out all that choppy behavior and then took advantage of the bull run, unprecedented short-term bull run first 3 months of this year, and you're still in, you'd be down 3.4% on average. Boy, that's quite a roller coaster ride for a buy and hold person to go through, only to end up down 3.4%. Now here's the fun part. Let's look at that same SPX chart for the last 12 months from the point of view of a swing trader. So what was the average 12-month swing trading profit potential? How about 73.1%? Now, I'm not saying that all swing traders made 73.1% in the last 12 months. I'm just trying to highlight that there's that kind of potential for a swing trader. Now, of course, you need good methods, you need sound discipline, good risk management, et cetera, et cetera. However, those things are achievable, and that leads to this kind of potential. Imagine if you only were able to capture half of that, say 37%, or maybe only 20%. Not only that, with swing trading, you're not sitting through gut-wrenching declines being 100% fully invested on the long side of the market. So not only do you have the potential for really nice double-digit gains, you do it with a lot less risk and a lot less stress. In fact, if you do it right with a good trading method, there shouldn't be any stress at all. So it should be apparent that even though buy and hold is dead, there's more profit potential than ever before in the markets, especially real asset-based markets like gold, silver, and energies. And because of the collapsing global currencies, you absolutely need a strategy for trading these real asset-based markets, which are both stocks and exchange-traded funds, or ETFs. And that's why I spent the better part of this year and over $50,000 developing my brand new custom trade-alert software that can help you safely and quickly pull as much profit potential out of the best real asset stocks and ETFs as possible. No, it's not a trading robot of any kind. You still get to make the final trading decisions, so you're always in control. Instead, it's more like a personal trading assistant that taps you on the shoulder when it's time to make some money. I call it the Real Wealth Income Generator, and I think you're going to love it. But even if you don't end up using it, I'm going to teach you the core trading techniques that went into my software in these training videos. So by the time you're done watching them, you'll have some brand new ways to pull more profit potential out of these markets than you probably thought was possible. Now, I have a lot to cover, but first, let me show you the amazing trades the Real Wealth Income Generator has been spotting recently. And by the way, I'm not going to be cherry-picking anything in these videos. You'll see the raw data, the good and the bad, so you can get a feel for what it's like to use the Real Wealth Income Generator in the real world. Okay, let's take a look. Here it is, the Real Wealth Income Generator Trade Alert software. And you can see here we've got the signals page open. We've got the icon column, strategy name, symbol, strength, meaning the profit, relative profitability of the trade, the entry price, entry date, current price, stop price, first half profit target, limit order, where we teach you how to scale out of a trade profitably in 2 steps, and the profit and loss percent of each trade. Now with Real Wealth Income Generator, we're going to be trading exclusively tangible asset-based stocks and ETFs in the U.S., Canadian, London, and Australian stock exchanges. Now, this is a relatively small list of stocks and ETFs, but you know what? You can't trade them all anyway, so why worry about the thousands of stocks and ETFs out there that really aren't that suitable for trading, number one, and number two are subject to the vagaries of the collapsing currencies around the world and the ensuing inflation that's going to undermine them sooner or later. So we're focused here on asset protection, on trading those stocks and ETFs, that very special list that's likely to thrive in this environment. Okay, let's just navigate around here so you can get a feel for how this works. Let's take this trade of Alcoa AA as the symbol. When the symbol shows up in red, that means it's a short position. When it's in blue, it's a long position. So this trade was initiated by the Cashflow catalyst method, a short trade. Entry price at $9.65 on the entry date of 5/3. Current price is at $8.49, so you can see it's a profitable trade. With the current stop price at $8.62, we're always ratcheting the stop tighter and tighter, locking in more and more profit, zeroing out all of the risk in the trade as soon as possible. The Trade Alert software, at the close of each day, will alert you to any changes in the stop price. So all you do is go in and adjust your stop for the next day. We also show you where to take profits on half your position at a predetermined profit target and what the current P&L of this position is. It's up 12%. Now, if you want to go to a chart and check that position out, you just click on the symbol, and that takes you right to a nice candlestick chart. Here's the symbol AA. Here's the sell short entry, and you can see that the trade is still short with the trailing stop loaded in right around in here. Back to the signals page, you can see that most of these trades have been entered into just recently, and that's because we're swing traders, right? We're in the trade for a few days, maybe up to a couple of weeks, as the case of AA here, Alcoa, but generally a few days to a few weeks. Now, it's not unusual for some of the best trades to take a few days to get moving in your favor, and sometimes they even go negative for a bit. And that's perfectly normal, and the wealthiest traders understand that you need to give a trade some room initially, and we'll be talking more about that. And that's what the software does automatically for you, so you never have to worry. All right, let's take a look at one on the London Exchange, LOIL. And let's look at our icon here. It says short stopped out at trailing stop 363. So we'd entered the trade short at 389 and got stopped out at 363. Let's take a look. Let's go look at the chart. Okay, here's the sell short entry date. You can see the pop-up window there telling you cash flow catalyst short entry short sell. And the market moving on down, and you got the alert today to cover that position for a very nice profit. Back to the signals page. Let's just look at USO quickly. That icon says change the trailing stop to 35.20. So at the close of the market, the new stop price is at 35.20. So every time there's an action required to manage your trade, you're going to get an alert. It's going to show up here on the signals page. You're going to get an email, you're going to get a text message, or you're going to get even a ping on your computer. You have all those choices to select from, or you can get all of them. So that no matter where you're at, you will be notified when an alert has occurred. And the good news is you've got plenty of time to enter that entry order or adjust your stops or take profits, because you've got until the market opens the next day. It's not like as soon as you get an alert, you have to rush to the computer. You can do it at your leisure. It should take only a few minutes each day after the markets close. Now, we're going to teach you all of the details behind these methods so that you know how these short trades and long trades set up, how to manage them every step of the way. But with the Real Wealth Income Generator Trade Alert software, it's going to tap you on the shoulder whenever one of those setups occurs. It's going to tap you on the shoulder whenever it's time to move your stop, locking in more profit. This is the assist, the personal assist that I've been talking about. It's really a terrific way to trade. So in summary, what we're doing here is trading the best of the best real tangible asset-based stocks and ETFs in a world that's in turmoil. with very powerful software that's going to guide you every step of the way. You'll never wonder, what do I do? How do I do it? When do I do it? You will be alerted every step of the way. You'll understand why those alerts occur. It puts you in the driver's seat. And one last thing, it's very important to know when to stay out of the markets. That's just as important as knowing when to trade. And so Real Wealth Income Generator is only going to get you involved in trades when there's a high probability opportunity setting up in one of these great stocks or ETFs. So while the world's sitting on pins and needles worried about what's happening in Europe, you're going to be alerted to the very best trading opportunities in the midst of all that turmoil. So unless you've been living under a rock, then you know the economic data is flat out scary right now. Let's look at the facts. The Western governments of the world, including the United States, are still in a near catastrophic financial situation. And the politicians are only making it worse. Furthermore, the economies of these countries are struggling at best. People are out of work in record numbers with no sign of recovery. For the first time in history, the United States debt was downgraded by Standard & Poor's. The U.S., European, and Japanese stock markets are once again in turmoil. China may be next. Our political leaders around the world are without solutions. Short term, the dollar is gaining against the falling euro, and the pound is also under pressure. But the dollar's strength is only temporary. Gold and silver volatility is soaring. Traditional investment alternatives such as buy and hold stock and bond portfolios are for the first time since World War II exposed to unprecedented risk. Regardless of where you live in the world or your financial position, these events are having a profound effect on your financial survival. So if you're worried about the economy, or if you're wondering how to protect the money you have right now and potentially make a lot more, then these may be the most important training videos you've ever seen. Now, even though all this scary economic data is bad news for people trapped in yesterday's outdated investment strategies, it's actually good news if you know how to take advantage of the volatility being created every day. Why? Because as you saw earlier on the S&P 500 charts, volatility creates movement in the markets. And when the markets move, you can take advantage of a lot of profit potential. The last thing you want to do is wait around and hope things get better. Waiting for the politicians to solve these problems is not a plan for your financial well-being, because it leaves you in a helpless state, dependent on the same people that got us into this mess to get us out of the mess. So what is the solution? It's hidden in the fact that all this turmoil, as well as today's instant communication of market-relevant news and interdependency of global markets, has changed the character of the markets from long-term investment favorable markets to short-term trading markets. And this is likely to continue for years, if not decades to come. Now, you already saw the proof earlier in this video. And if you know how to trade these short-term trends safely, you have the opportunity to exploit these markets instead of fighting them, and to do very well indeed. Now, you've probably heard stories about people making a ton of money in these markets. Well, I think you're going to hear more and more of those stories because the profit potential continues to grow week after week, month after month. The major global stock markets around the world are still at about break-even over the past year, and even over the past 10 years, which is bad news for most investors. But the recent volatility has been tremendous and has created one short-term tradable money-making trend after another, both on the long and the short side of the market, as you saw earlier in this video. Now, here's the good news. You can actually easily learn how to spot these trends and take advantage of them, even without prior trading experience, so that you too have the potential to tap into this continuing stream of profit potential while the rest of the world continues frozen in a victim mentality. Look, the bottom line is that anything can happen. How long can you support your family and your lifestyle if your current source of income were to disappear tomorrow? You certainly can't rely on the government because Social Security is bankrupt. How long will it last in its present form? You need additional income streams. Now, swing trading real asset-based stocks and ETFs could be a great one for you. Trading these markets on a short-term basis has always provided great potential to be lucrative. However, because of all the recent volatility, it has the potential to be extra lucrative right now. And it could be like a gold rush if you know what you're doing. So you need to strike quickly if you want to maximize your profit taking. But you also need to do it as safely as possible so you can keep what you make. And I'm going to show you how to do it. The trades you saw earlier were all based on my recent real wealth discovery. I've found 3 easy to apply but powerful methods that allow you to trade the sweet spots of the best real asset stocks and ETFs. Now, these methods require a minimal time commitment, and after you understand how they work, you only need to spend 20 minutes or less each night after the market closes managing your trades. That's it. A big part of why these methods are so easy to trade is because I hired a team of expert programmers to create an intelligent trade alert custom software program that tells you exactly when a trade is setting up. Now, it's very important that you understand that this custom software is not a trading robot. It is also not an expert advisor or an EA. It's not any kind of plugin. What it is a totally custom piece of intelligent software that you can install on your own computer and use from anywhere in the world to alert you when potential trades are about to happen. I'll even send you an email or a text message if you happen to be away from the computer. And maybe the best part is that the software manages your trades for you from entry to exit, so you always know exactly what orders to place. It's like having a personal assistant that does all the hard work for you. Now, I'm going to share exactly how you can use these 3 methods part-time from anywhere in the world to potentially add on a new income stream, to replace any money you lost in the past, keep what you already have, and grow your bank account into a fat nest egg that you can use for anything you like. Now, I'm about to deep dive on some gold and silver charts, so stay with me. But first, I want to address a common concern I hear a lot from new traders and also from misinformed traders. And that concern is, I heard trading is risky. Well, trading is risky, especially when done improperly. Just like speeding down a road at night in a Ferrari with your headlights turned off is risky. But of course, just like there's a right way and a wrong way to go fast in a sports car, there's a right way and a wrong way to trade stocks and ETFs. Unfortunately, most people attempt to trade by risking way too much. They overtrade. They blindly follow automated trading systems, forcing trades, not having an edge in the markets. The key is knowing how to manage risk first. And in these videos, I'm going to show you how to shield your account from risk so huge losses can never happen to you again. I'm also going to show you how to potentially create a steady, predictable income stream that puts the odds of success in your favor forever. Most people will never be able to compete with you when you trade like this. Now, we're about to deep dive on my real wealth methods, but first, take a look at this illustrative chart that shows you the kinds of market moves each of my methods aims to go after. Now, one big mistake amateur traders make is that they think you have to be trading all the time. Nothing could be further from the truth. Many of the most successful traders know that trading is a numbers game, and the key to potentially winning over time is to stack the odds in your favor while dramatically reducing risk before you even place a trade. That's why my real wealth methods were designed to be traded only when market conditions are entirely in your favor. This way, you don't waste time and money gambling on uncertain market conditions like many amateurs do. We have the Candlestick Profit Patterns method, where we're going after 5 to 15 candle powerful counter-trend swings in the markets that are identified by one of 4 Japanese candlestick patterns. Very, very powerful reversal patterns. And not any old Japanese candlestick patterns. These are very highly and specifically defined by the Trade Alert software, because not all of these candlestick patterns are created equal. You only want to trade the ones that are the best of the best. And that's what the software does. And then we've got the Countertrend Profits method, where we're going after 5 to 15 candle powerful countertrend swings in the markets, but this time identified by divergence. And again, not just any divergence. It's a highly refined set of divergence rules that filters out the best of the best so that you're only trading divergence that's highly likely to develop into a countertrend move. And then we have the Cashflow Catalyst method, where we're going after 3 to 10 candle swings in the markets within strongly trending markets when the trend recovers from a corrective move, and not a significant corrective move. Most of the time it's a small corrective move where you're just getting right back on board a very strong trend. It's a very powerful technique where you're getting in at the right time and you're locking in profits almost immediately. All right, let's deep dive now. The ETF symbol GLD, that's the gold ETF that's very popularly traded. And this is the price chart for the last 12 months. And you can see that gold is indeed a very volatile market. Now let's take a look at what the average 12-month buy and hold profit potential is for GLD. How does 6.8% sound? Not too bad. in a world of high uncertainty, but look at the ups and downs that you would have had to endure, finishing up on the downside here, almost back to break even, with no way to limit risk if gold should really take a dive. All right, let's look at that same chart now for the average 12-month swing trading profit potential. How does 63% sound? I think it sounds a lot better. Now, again, I'm not saying that swing traders made 63% over the past 12 months trading GLD. I'm just pointing out that there's this kind of profit potential there. So again, how about 40%? Would that be okay? How about half of that, 30%? How about 20%? And how about achieving double-digit returns and controlling risk at the same time? That is a big deal. Because, it's one thing to be able to achieve double-digit returns. It's another thing to be able to do it managing risk so that if things don't go your way, you get stopped out with a small loss and you go on to the next opportunity. You're not stressed out in the process. It's a whole different world of trading. And that's how you want to do it. So you want to be able to take advantage of these great moves, these great swing trades, and do it by protecting your portfolio, by managing risk first and foremost, and trading in a stress-free fashion. So while all the pundits out there are telling you you better go out and buy gold and silver to protect yourself from the turmoil in the financial world, which is not a bad strategy for a portion of your portfolio, I certainly wouldn't do that for the lion's share of my portfolio. Look at how volatile these markets are. Who wants to buy silver or who wants to buy gold at the peak of the past 12 months only to see it drop in half? Nobody. Who wants to withstand that? That's not the way you want to do it. On the other hand, yes, gold and silver can provide a terrific hedge against all this market turmoil, against an absolute collapse in the stock market by swing trading the markets. Let's look at ETF symbol SLV, the silver ETF, widely traded ETF, very, very liquid market. Looking back 12 months at the price chart, again, a very volatile picture, and actually, in this case of SLV, the market's been down over the past 12 months. Now, what about silver and precious metals being a safe haven against all the financial turmoil? Again, if you're a swing trader, you got the best of both worlds. You can take advantage of this temporary downtrend in silver by swing trading it while you're waiting for the uptrend to reassert itself, which it most assuredly will. But instead of sitting there hoping against hope that silver gets back to where you bought it, let's say at $44 or $46 an ounce back there in April and May of 2011, you're enjoying swing trading profit opportunities and on the downside, and you'll enjoy them on the upside. You don't have to wait or hope for anything. So let's look at the average 12-month buy and hold profit potential for SLV. And this does not even include the collapse there in April into early May of last year. This is picking up from mid-May or late May to late May. Down 18.8%. Now again, by now you got the message. Buy and hold is just not the way to go here in these kind of markets and this kind of financial world that we live in. And in contrast then, let's look at the average 12-month swing trading profit potential, 97%. I mean, that is the kind of profit potential that's out there. Now, again, I'm not saying that swing traders made 97%. Some of them probably did. Some of them probably only made 40%. Some of them probably didn't make anything because they didn't know what they were doing. Some of them probably lost because they didn't know what they were doing. Some of them risked too much. But if you have good methods, good risk management, good discipline, and software that taps you on the shoulder when the high probability trade's set up, you then really have the opportunity to do very well. So a picture's worth 1,000 words. We've got, on the one hand, average 12-month buy and hold profit potential of minus 18.8% without any risk management strategy whatsoever. So you've got a high-stress, nail-biting kind of investing going on, and you're losing money. Versus the average 12-month swing trading profit potential of as high as 97% with risk management as part of it, so that even when trades go against you and you lose, and you will have losing trades, you'll only lose a very small portion of your account and go on to the next opportunity and expect to have winning trades that will far outperform the losing trades. So you've got risk under control, you've got low stress or no stress, and you have the potential for very nice gains. Well, I really hope these trade examples help to illustrate why you need a strategy like the Real Wealth Income Generator. Corporations around the world that are not tangible asset based will suffer the damaging effects of double-digit inflation sooner or later. Buy and hold is dead. Many foreign exchange or forex markets could literally disappear overnight. You can't trade the Euro USD if the Euro doesn't exist anymore. I know that many forex traders are pretty anxious right now because they don't know what's going to happen. But you don't need to worry because there will always be markets based on tangible, real assets like gold and silver and oil, which become even stronger in the face of economic disasters. And of course, as you've already seen, the massive volatility in these markets holds a ton of profit potential. And it'd be a shame to just watch it all go by without getting in on as much of it as possible. Now, at this point, you might be wondering, how much work is this? Well, all the real wealth methods are swing trading methods, which means that your trades will usually only be open for several days to no longer than a few weeks. If you've never traded before, that may seem like a very short time frame, and it is, especially compared to investing where you usually keep trades open for months or even years. But rest assured, we're not talking about day trading, which can be very stressful. Instead, swing trading makes it very easy to manage your trades because you wait until the market closes each day before making any trading decisions. This frees up most of your time so you can go about your day just like before and not have to worry about watching your trades. So it's not much work at all, less than 20 minutes a night, and it's just a great way to take advantage of the short-term trends in these markets. Now, there are easily over 500 real asset markets that you can trade. But most of them, I'd say over 80% of them, are not optimal for trading. In fact, most people, even with a good trading method, will probably lose money over time trading most of these markets. You might be surprised to hear me say that, especially after I just told you how much profit potential these markets have. But the secret is you need to trade only those markets where the odds of success are heavily in your favor. And there's one technique in particular that I use to select the markets analyzed by the Real Wealth Income Generator. And this is a very short list, and it's only the best of the best. I call it the Real Asset Market List, and I'm going to share it with you in the next video. If you did nothing else but trade the markets on this list, assuming you have a good trading method, you'd already have a big edge over other traders. So get ready to see that in the next video. So if you're just a beginner, this is the perfect program for you. It'll help you avoid costly mistakes, learn good trading habits, and have an automatic edge over traders with bad habits. Plus, it's simple and quick to learn. And if you're already an expert, you can skip all the basics and instantly zero in on the meat of the trading methods quickly and add them to your trading toolkit so you can capture even more profit potential in these highly volatile markets. So as we close this first training video, let's quickly review the goals of the Real Wealth Income Generator. First, to create both short-term income and long-term wealth from anywhere in the world. To protect the money you already have. And third, to predict the 5-day trend of the highest potential real asset markets. And fourth, to manage your trades in 20 minutes or less. And finally, to be able to start with as little as a $500 account. Okay, well, this is just a broad overview. In the next video, I'll reveal in detail my complete real asset market list. You'll also see my Real Wealth Income Generator daily trading plan. I'm also going to teach you a key trading secret that could cause your profit potential to skyrocket almost overnight. Now, I know that sounds a little bit weird, but once you see what it is, you'll never look at a stock or ETF chart the same way again. Well, thanks for watching this first training video. I hope you enjoyed it, but we're just getting started, so I'll see you in video 2. For now, this is Bill Poulos wishing you good trading.